and welcome to An Evening with Spirits. I'm so glad that you could all be here with me tonight. I'm really looking forward to bringing in those that we love who've crossed over. I'm curious, as we begin, how many people have never seen a medium before, like in person? Woo!
Wow.
Woo! Oh, I'm wondering, how many of you came on your own? Okay, yeah. So some people, you got dragged here by somebody, or people asked you to come here with them. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're here this evening. Now, another question I have, and this is perfectly okay to raise your hands to this. How many people are skeptical of this? Like, I'm not too sure about this. That's fine. Yeah, all those people who've never seen one before. Sure. Well, that totally makes sense. What I'm going to ask us to do tonight, though, is just imagine sort of a container over here, a little, cabinet. And what we're going to do is we're just temporarily going to put our skepticism in the cabinet, and just, you can have it back at the end of the night, totally can have it, no problem with that. But just for now, we're going to put it in there because we want this to be as possible as possible. And skepticism can kind of bring the vibration down a little. So we're going to be working really hard to be as light as we possibly can. You're all going to be working with me tonight. I know you came in here thinking, oh, I'm just going to relax and this woman's going to do everything. No, we're a team. I have a team in spirit, and you're part of our team this evening. This is the only time this particular group of people is going to be here tonight like this. So it's going to be really special. We're also going to be doing, before I start giving the messages, we'll be doing a visualization together, and that is also going to help raise the vibration of the room. So before I begin with that, though, I wanted to just quickly tell you a little bit about myself. A lot of times you'll hear mediums say, well, I've been doing this since I was 3, or forever and ever and ever, and that's not really the case with me. I can remember being about 4, and I'd go to bed at night and I'd see these sort of shadows walking around the bed, and it scared me half to death. And I would tell my mom, and she's, well, you're just imagining that, that's just your imagination, and just, forget about it. And every night I would go hide under the covers, and eventually it went away. And I was very happy for it to go away, thinking, well, I don't know what this is. So, and so for me, now I know I was seeing spirits walking around the room, and it wasn't my imagination. But it was kind of shut down for a long time. And then more in my 20s, I'll say, or late 20s, and it mainly as people that I knew were crossing over, I would know when they were dying somehow, or like with my father, I went to a restaurant with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I think he's here. I think he's here. He's right outside the window. And she's like, yes, dear. Yes, dear. So, and as you're a medium, there's a lot of things you have to kind of work with or overcome being a medium. Things like, yes, dear, you're totally whacked. Or, things like, what you're doing is really not appropriate, and it's not good. And I don't really see it that way at all. I think it's wonderful. Now in 2012, though, I had what's called a spiritual awakening. I was doing really deep psychotherapy work. I was working with a spiritual teacher. I was doing yoga, getting some Reiki done, and it was sort of like this perfect storm or something that just hit me. And I think it was 2012. A lot of people had what we call an awakening around that time. It wasn't all fabulous and pleasant, but when the dust settled, I could give messages from those who've crossed over, and I give messages from more than just those who've crossed over. I give them from light beings, from ascended masters, angels. I mean, there's so much out there. You guys have maybe you do have a clue, but I think at one point I just realized there is no box. There is no box. And this is all about energy. It's all about energy. And right now we're kind of in these body suits, and it's more dense when we're in these body suits. But we also have layers of energy around us. And when we cross over, this energy in our consciousness I say moves to a different dimension. It moves to a different dimension. And our loved ones still want to be here and talk to us and be with us. So what we're going to do, and I see, hear, and feel spirit. Once in a blue moon, I'll get a smell. But as we do the visualization, I want you to all be open to your own experience of what can happen. Because the other thing is, when you do this in a group, it raises the vibration even higher. So you have more opportunity to have something happen than you may at home alone. So just to give you some hints of what may happen, and if you don't want anything to happen, don't worry, you'll just have a little visualization, it'll be no big deal. But what may happen, if you're open to this, is you could start to feel pressure around your third eye or kind of tingling around your head. You could start to see colors in your third eye, which means that your third eye is opening and getting ready to talk to spirit. You could get cold and feel chills. That can often mean that spirit is near you. You could smell something. So just kind of be open to anything. And one of the biggest things people have to work with or kind of move through is the idea of, oh, I must just be making this all up. You know, that can't possibly be real. It's my imagination. And when I think of imagination, and I can imagine, we can all imagine, I can right now imagine like a merry-go-round. Okay, I'm going to put a little girl on it. Oh, there's a lamb, and this kind of thing. To me, it's more being receptive, and it sort of happens to you. So you're not creating it. It's just your eyes will be closed. You may suddenly see somebody, and it's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Just be open and try not to be scared, okay? So, one more thing before I do it too, because right after that I'm going to move into giving messages. When I come to you for a message, the best way to do is you're going to want to actually have your legs uncrossed and your arms pretty uncrossed, because that gives us the most opening to having, even for the visualization, it's the best. The energy can just be real close to all of us. And the other thing is, as I come to you, you're not going to want to shake your head or nod your head, because that's like giving me hints. We don't want to give me any hints. And it can also actually throw me off, because I've definitely had people nodding, and I think oh, this is great. And then I go, does this make sense? And I have no idea who you've got. Also, especially as we work in a group, as I come to you, sometimes I'm sure it's for you. And then it actually is for you. So even though I'm talking to somebody, be on the lookout just in case, okay? So everybody go ahead and relax. I'm going to sit down too for a minute and dinging this once in a while. Go ahead and close your eyes, and we're just going to begin breathing slowly in through your nose and out through your mouth. And this is an invitation to do this. So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. I always like things to be an invitation. I want you to feel your feet flat on the ground. And I want you to feel your bottom in the bottom of the chair and your back against the back of the chair. As though the chair is actually holding you. And there's nothing that you have to do. I want you to just let go of all your worries of the day and realize you're in this beautiful, potentially warm, safe place, and we're all together for our highest and best good. So again, breathing in through your nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling through your mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 1, 2, 3, and 4. Continue breathing on your own, slowly. And now as you're relaxing, I want you to imagine roots, like the roots of a plant, attached to the bottoms of your feet. And those roots go deeply down into the earth and wrap around rocks and things all the way to the center of the earth. And as you're breathing in that fresh, clean energy of the earth up through your body. And as you're exhaling anything that no longer serves you, anything that you want to release and let go of. So breathing in fresh, clean energy and exhaling what no longer serves you. And then I'd like you to imagine a white light above the top of your head. And if you don't like the color white, any color that you choose, but I'll say white. And this white light is coming down through the top of your head, filling your body with a white, loving energy. White, loving, divine energy down through your head, your neck, your torso, your stomach, your genitals, your legs, all the way down to your toes. And that white light is also showering down around the outside of you with a white, loving, protective energy. And you're now grounded and protected. I'd like you to imagine yourself on a path in nature, a place of your choice. And as you begin walking down this path, I want you to notice all the colors and everything you see on this beautiful path. And what you see above you, what you see below you. I also want you to notice what you smell in this beautiful place as you're walking down this path. And now as you're walking, you step down a step and the path keeps going. And you step down another step and keep going. I also want you to notice what you hear in this beautiful place. Just what do you hear? Continuing to walk and stepping down a little bit more. Continuing to walk. And what you smell in this beautiful place. And what you feel. Perhaps the kiss of the sun or a slight breeze. And eventually you come to a beautiful spot where there's sort of like an alcove of bushes or something. Room enough for two people to sit in. And you go in this beautiful alcove and you sit. And you invite someone in spirit to come and visit you. No pressure. And if someone comes to visit you, you talk to them just like you would here in your mind. You talk to them, hug them, see what message they have for you. And I'll be quiet now for a moment. And visit just a moment longer. And just thanking them for coming in. And if you want, you can exchange a gift with one another just to commemorate this visit. And then saying goodbye. Person goes away for now, or animal, whatever you experienced, knowing that you can have this experience anytime you want. And then you yourself gently walking out of the alcove back to the trail, heading up a step, continuing your walk, heading up another step, continuing your walk, heading up another step, continuing your walk back to the place where you began, turning around, taking one last look at this beautiful trail, knowing that you can come back here anytime you want, just doing what we did with the grounding and the protecting and the visualizing. Then with your eyes still closed, coming back to this room, feeling your bottom in the bottom of the chair, your back against the back of the chair, your feet on the ground, breathing in. And I don't want us to really lose this vibration, so gently opening your eyes, coming back. And I just want to see a show of hands. How many people may have met someone on this journey? Saw anyone? Animal, person? Okay, quite a few people. All right. How many people might have felt some tingling in their head or saw some lights? Yeah, a few people. Excellent. I think we're all mediums and we can all do this. We just sort of have to kind of get out of our own way. It's probably the hardest thing. So let me do this. Thank you. And then now I'm going to begin giving messages. So let's see what I've got for us. Let's see what Spirit has for us this evening. Oh. I'd like to come to the lady in the back of the room with the green shirt. I have two people coming through for you this evening. One is a woman. She's practically jumping up and down. She's so excited to be here. And she has a lot of shopping bags with her. She looks somewhat like you, not exactly the same, maybe a little bit shorter. His body's a little similar. Her hair is more, as she comes in this evening, more of, I'm going to say, a brownish color. You're nodding. Okay, thank you. And she is sort of on the petite side. She just wants to get on with this. She doesn't want to go through the explaining stuff. Very much drawn to your heart, your mother's side. Does this fit for you? Yes, very good. And the gentleman that she's got coming through with her, he kind of seems like a Bopsy twin to her. I mean, they don't look exactly the same. And he's actually coming in maybe a little bit older than her. And he's missing some hair. He's coming in a little older. He's missing some hair on the top of her head. You're looking a little like, I have no idea who this is. He also, as he comes in older, he's probably in his late 60s, maybe early 70s. And has a little bit of a tummy. He feels actually like he could be a brother to her. Would your mother have had a brother that could have passed over that would fit this description, sort of? Not quite?
Not quite.
Okay,
He'd be taller.
Okay, well, even at the end, is older in life, he's not shrinking a little?
Yeah, he'd still be a little bit taller.
Well, he's coming in pretty close to her, and they feel really similar in their energy. They feel, like I say, the Bopsy twins. They would have gotten along, or at least at the end, got along well. And now she's kind of shoving him away because she wants to. She wants the stage. Let's put it that way. So let me see what her message is. She seems to have more of a message for all of us. She's coming with all these shopping bags, and she's giving everybody a shopping bag. It's and they're white bags with red like Macy's on them, and the kind that you might have a bathrobe and nightgowns and things like that in. So not like a makeup bag. She's saying Christmas is coming, everybody get ready for the sales. You don't want to miss anything. There's a good one coming this Friday. I guess it may. I haven't checked. So you might want to check. There may be something you want to buy there. And she wants. What does she want everyone to do? Go shopping. So would this fit for her? Would she like to go shopping?
Yes.
Can you say, okay, very good.
And she worked at Macy's.
Okay, so that fits. She now she's gonna come and give you some attention. She's talking about writing in a journal. Have you been doing some writing lately in a
No.
journal?
No.
No. Well, feels like she's talking about writing in a journal, and that you have been, or should be, or there's like something that she's seeing that you're writing about. And she's getting upset with me. No, I want her to write. No, I want her to write. So she wants you, if you don't already have a journal, she wants you to be kind of keeping track of your thoughts and your memories. Oh boy. Because as you get a little older, it's hard to remember everything.
That's hard.
Okay, yeah. So that's part of what she wants.
Does she know something I don't?
I think just in general. Well, I can relate. So, she's also talking about your sister and support that you are giving currently for your sister. Your sister is going actually through a difficult time at the moment, and you two are generally very close. Does this make sense to you? Yes. And she wants you to continue with the support. In other words, your sister may be going, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'll get through this. I'll be okay." But she says, "Don't let her fool you." She really, this was an important loss that she's had, and she wants you to really talk to her, maybe even a little more than you normally do. But I get a feeling you guys do talk fairly regularly. You do? Oh, every day. Oh, you're going to do twice a day? Oh, okay. Well, she really wants to make sure you keep that up, because you are now the lifeline for her, where this friend or something was. You are now the lifeline for her. Okay?
My sister just lost her best friend of over 40 years this week.
Okay, so then that's
They were
the.
like soul sisters, yeah.
Then that's I'm getting chills now. Okay. Would that friend have been a little bit shorter?
Yes.
With like some darkish colored, maybe not now, but at some point like brownish colored hair?
Yes.
Would she have been a little bit dressed kind of Western ever? There's something associated with the West with her, with the jeans or something with her. Well, she's just waving. I mean, I can't really bring her in a lot, but she wants you to let your sister, well, I think she may already be talking to your sister, but she wants you to let your sister know she's doing better than ever. She's doing better than ever. So I think
Was my mom there when she passed?
I think your mom was busy. Your mom.
Okay.
Might have been shopping. Might have been See, there's something about some earrings. And, did your mom like to shop that much?
Well, I don't remember her shopping that much.
Well, she must have gotten into it.
She's always apparently carrying around a purse and shopping bags. I don't know what she's doing up there.
Okay. Maybe she's doing what she couldn't do here. You know, maybe there's no. She can. So, let me bring this for a minute. Just trying to see that gentleman if he just wanted to say something real quick before we let him go. Actually, maybe he's not a brother. He feels a little odd. Well, it seemed like they were close, but he seems a little more like he's watching. But he, yeah, almost like that kind of a feel. But he can't hurt her. So he's not going to hurt her. He just
Not that fellow that I had a fellow that was
a spirit.
A spirit that was watching me.
Yeah, he's not watching you particularly. He's coming in, but he seems more like he knew your mother at some point.
Okay.
They do have a very similar vibration at the same time, but as I move closer into him, he just doesn't have that brotherly feel. More like he could have had a crush on her at some time. More that kind of a feel maybe. And so I think I want to let him go. So we don't need him. No. Okay. So I'm going to leave all of that with you. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see. Who shall I come to? Well, I've got a gentleman I haven't seen in quite a while. I think I'm coming to you. May I come to you? With a... Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just made a beeline in here. Very handsome gentleman. Coming in, as he comes in, he's got nice shoulders. He's coming in with a nice build. He's probably 6 foot, something like that. He's a good height. Good with money. I'm showing what he shows. I think I've had this gentleman before. I think it feels, I'm on your father's side. He feels like a father, and he's talking about, well, let me just a little bit more. No, he likes it. I showed the money. No. He likes it that I could make money. He says, I was very good at that. And he takes pride in that. Although he wishes he had left you more. He wishes he had left you more money, that things had been divvied up a little differently than they really were. And he's really talking about Tahoe and building in Tahoe. And he's saying you're enjoying it. Is this correct? Are you enjoying it? Oh, you guys are together. Yeah, because you're enjoying it too. Very good. I'm glad. I hope it's all above board. No. And you get there more than your sibling gets there. And I feel like you've done some work in there. Have you been changing up some things, like maybe the carpet, and maybe oh, now he's feeling a little bad, like maybe there were a few things that needed to be fixed that he wasn't realizing. Now it's kind of costing you a little to have to, like it could. Huh? He probably is. It feels like, would it have to do, I'm not right on the roof, but it feels like, with the, around the edge of the roof and maybe even the wood under the round. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh, that's a job. Oh, yeah. He meant well. That's part of the reason he's wishing he'd left you more finances for it. He didn't realize that. He's also glad. He's glad someone's moved out of your life. It feels like his former spouse or something. Has she kind of disappeared? Kind of like you're not really in contact? Are you?
Well, it's funny because we weren't in contact and we just this weekend saw her.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So we haven't seen her in like a year and a half.
Did you really enjoy it though? Because it feels, the energy of it feels like.
It wasn't a bad meeting, actually.
No?
Maybe she took away something different. I don't know.
No, it's more him, I think. Well, maybe he knows some things you don't know. Let me see what he says about this. Yeah, I don't think he really wants you hanging out with her all. Okay. That there's some things on her mind you don't know about. Like she may be being nice right now and you're talking. Who made the first contact? Did you or her?
We kind of both were texting a little bit this year, and
well, but this meeting coming together, who?
It was me.
It was you. Okay. Okay. Well, just be on the lookout.
But maybe I shouldn't have done that.
No, well, yeah, I don't think he cares.
Maybe it had me had I done that, but maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it feels like you and she are in separate. Okay, you get it? Yeah. You know. You're her husband, right? Yeah, you get it. Yeah, I just feel like, you know what I feel like? What's going to happen? Like if you could, all of a sudden you're connecting, you kind of let your guard down. You go, oh, we're going to be nice, we're going to be friendly, we're going to be friends. Oh, by the way, can I have this thing of yours that I never really quite got? Or, something like that. Something's going to, And of course, I think of all these future things as possibilities is the way I see the future things. But yeah, something in there doesn't feel. So, I'm not saying, oh God, don't ever talk to her again. But just maybe what would be good is to just kind of not have a wall up, but have, you know, yeah, you get it. She doesn't get it. Okay. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that one with you. He loves you very much, but I think you know that. Well, actually, do you have a question for him? Well, let me do this real quick. And then do you have a question for him before I let him go? Is he what?
He's doing any projects.
Is he doing any projects? Well, if you call sitting on a lounger out by a pool that looks over like water of an ocean or something, a project, that's kind of more, he's like, I've done my work. I'm, you know, relaxing. He's enjoying himself. He's enjoying himself right now. And that's not to say a little way down the road he couldn't be doing a project, but that's where he is now. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that one with you. So let me see. I'm really drawn to you. Maybe it's that blue hair or teal colored hair. I love that hair. I haven't totally got him in yet, but I feel like I have a gentleman coming through on the male side of your family. He's feeling sort of generationally similar, I think. He's coming in jeans. Let me get him a little more in. I feel like he may have also at some point had either mustache or something going on, facial. Yeah, well, you can have that off and on, but there's something, or at a minimum that, you know how people get that kind of scruffy look, guys can get that scruffy look. He's showing me a horse that's sort of, it's kind of a pretty horse, like a tan horse with blonde mane. And I don't think it's his. It feels like it's something he would want you to have or something. It doesn't feel like it's really about him. Do you have any interest in horses or never rode a horse or anything? I don't know why he's showing. Well, the other thing is spirit can speak symbolically as well as literally. So hold the thought on the horse because may come through on that. His body looks pretty good to me. I'm just trying to determine if this is more like a brother or a lover or a, you know, this kind of a thing. And he'll probably let me know here pretty quick as I do a little more. What else would he have? He might have enjoyed some things you know, that he shouldn't have in his time. You know, things that we might. His eyes. I mean, you have beautiful eyes, but there's something about his eyes too that are beautiful. And I guess he's trying to show me his eyes because he's looking into your eyes. And I'm drawn to the idea of a ring. Well, you've got a ring. Have you lost a husband? Have you lost somebody? This feels like love, though. This feels, but it could be. Let me talk to him. He's saying something like he didn't get to see you for a while before he passed. Like there was some time separate. So if it's not that, then it's got to be more along the lines of it just doesn't quite feel like a brother. It just feels like a friend or something. There's something close in the bond of this. Could he be a father? If he did, he had to have you young. Let me see if I can bring anything else that he enjoys besides this.
My dad.
Huh? Yeah, your dad's not going to do that. Yeah, no. Okay, I feel like he's telling me he's a friend from a long time. You've known him a long time. But I do feel like if things had been different, I feel like he would have liked more than friendship. I feel like there's a deep kind of a love here. His hair is also comes in kind of in a brownish color with kind of waves to it. Again, that can change, like as he gets a little older. I think there's some gray coming in there. He may also have enjoyed a motorcycle.
It's your husband.
Oh, it's your husband?
Yeah.
Well, why is he over here with you?
Well, his
dad was his dad is my best friend.
Okay, so that's where I'm picking up this long. Okay, so I'm getting a little. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting a little bit off. Not perfect. So let me just see. So wait a minute. Let me just see. But okay. So yeah, that was him. So why aren't you going to her? Why are you over here? Well, I knew you'd look at her hair. On that, I gotta ring again. Oh, that was sneaky. So he's a little sneaky. He knew I would see your hair and come over here. So let me come to you. Let me see. Oh, he's also a little bit shy of coming to you because I feel like he's coming in with like some apologies to you. Does that make sense to you? You're crying, you're kind of nodding, you're feeling okay. It's all good, it's all good. It's okay. He feels like I'm just going to I give what I get, okay? He says, I mistreated you in some ways. And so some ways he could have spoken better to you. He could have expressed his love to you better. And he's saying on the other side, he's really seeing things differently. He also could have stepped up to the plate a little bit more, like helped, or were you the one kind of holding down the fort, maybe with jobs, getting lots of nodding? Okay, tell me yes. Okay, yes. Thank you. So that's also a little bit about the maybe coming over here versus, it's a little safer over here. Because I think there's some way in which he's afraid you're going to be sort of mad at him well, you're not. No, you're just happy to hear from him. Yeah. And he goes, I don't want you to worry about me. Have you been worrying about him? Yeah. Oh, don't worry about him. He's great over there. He wants you to know, though, he's got like a treatment plan over there. Which, as a psychotherapist, when you have a client, you do a treatment plan for them. And here's our goals, and here's how we're going to get there. And he's doing some work on himself. And he's going to be going into healing. He's like, man, this is going to take a lot of healing, let me tell you. But he's doing it because he also this is not just about him, it's about you. And he wants to be prepared, not anytime soon, but for the time when you cross over, that he will be, well, he's saying the words, I'll be worthy of you then. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah, you're beautiful. Shame on him. Let me tap into a little of him, of what was going on. He's like, oh, that's a long story.
Yeah, he probably would be saying that.
Yeah, it's just like, difficult childhood. Like, I feel like somebody might have hit him or something. There's difficult childhood. And a history, not just of him, of others in his family with addiction type issues. And it feels like it could even stem sort of from depression, that type of a thing. Get hitting it right on the head. Yeah, okay. Do you have a question for him before I let him go?
I have lots of questions, I guess, because I have kids, and they want to know, is he okay?
He says, I'm as good as I could be right now for the life that I lived.
Right. Wow.
So, meaning did he pass? I'm hearing like a 3. Was it like 3 months ago or 3 years ago or 3?
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago.
December.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it can take a little work. I mean, I think if he's kind of trying to say the initial part of crossing over was just clearing my system out. And letting go of some things, that baggage he had, but now he's more in a phase where he's working on himself to improve his vibration.
He was too.
Here?
Yeah, before he passed away.
Okay, well, it feels like it's still a little more. You might not have known everything. You might not have known everything about. Anyway, I don't want to go all into that because we've got to keep it kind of short. But he loves you, and that's one of the reasons he's doing this. He says, we were soulmates, and we both had lessons to learn. And he says, He wants you to continue. He wants you to be happy. He's not at the point quite yet where he's ready to say, "Oh, go meet somebody else." He's uh-oh.
With my son.
Give him time. He'll be fine.
Maybe that's why he went to her, because I'm with her son.
Huh?
I'm with her
Oh,
son, so maybe
that's a
why
part
he
of
went
it.
to her. I don't
Oh, yeah, he's not quite ready for that yet. But let's just give him some time. Even though it's been, everybody moves at it. And they can do this at their own timing as well. I'm going to give it another ring here. But they can do it at their own timing. Like, in other words, sometimes we cross over and we're not ready to do any healing yet. So
I have a question. I
Yeah.
just want to know, was him passing away, was it him alone? Like, was it something he did, or was somebody else involved?
I feel like somebody else is with him. Another male is around him.
There was a man with him
at the time of
after
his after something
accident,
happened.
right.
Yeah, there's somebody around. He's more talking about people coming to get him from spirit, people coming to get him.
Oh, okay.
And so you said accident. He could have been alone, but this other person is very quickly there. Yeah. Okay? All right. So let me leave that one with you. Thank you. I'm going to ding it one more time just to be good, because I'm not used to doing this. So let's see. Hello. I don't have anybody yet, but hello. May I come to you?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
Yes, hi. There's a female trying to come in for you. I haven't totally got her yet, so let's see. I'm drawn to the male side of your family. I'm hearing the word aunt, auntie. Let me see. I've got to see what she looks like. I got to bring her in. She's petite. Asian. I feel like she's not living when she was here. It doesn't feel like it was here. It feels, because it's too rural, it feels like she's in kind of a rural area, and it's not good where she's living. Like there could have been some danger. Maybe there's a war or something around where she's living. I'm hearing, let me see if I can get a little bit, because it's not like, it feels like she's, well, I'm hearing her say, I'm like your father's aunt, which would make her like a great aunt for you. Her clothing that she's wearing, it feels more like she's in a dress, or a long kind of a dress, and more like thongs or sandals kind of on her feet, like I can see her feet. Well, it feels like she's eating rice with like chopsticks. I can see you're Asian, but would your ancestors on your father's side have been using chopsticks? Okay. Never quite get it wrong. It really feels like in her lifetime, in her life, I feel like there's bombs going off or something, that she is not, I'm hearing the word though, Korea though. Where would your dad's family have come from? China. Okay, well, China would be, chopsticks. So why am I hearing the word Korea? And she's, what does she want to, I'll never get her name. That's stretching anyway, it's hard to get names. I don't even know that you would have met her. It just feels like she was over in the old country, and she has like fear. She has fear, whatever is going on in her life. It doesn't feel like, I'm hearing the word like ostracized, which I can't even remember what ostracized means right now. What I'm hearing, like, that means like kept out. She had a difficult life. Would you know anything about your father having an aunt that would have felt ostracized? No? Okay. Would you have ever known your father's aunt?
No.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and give her message because she's working hard to get here. And sometimes when we go back a ways, it's hard to tell. And especially when it's sort of like a traditional type dress, could be any time. So let me see what why she's coming in. Because if they send them in, there's always a good reason. I've been bombed like you've been bombed. Sorry. And I don't feel like she's now not talking about a literal bomb going off. It feels like relationships with people. You've been bombed like she was bombed, like mistreated. You've been, I think I may have heard a little about this from you, a former marriage that was kind of not super positive. I feel like that's what she's trying to point me at. She says, you're lucky. You're lucky. She never got out of whatever her situation was. And maybe somehow you can ask somebody in the family about this. If there was somebody, I think she would have been like hit by a spouse. She would have had a really rough, hard kind of a life. But she's coming, you're the lucky one because you are now here, together here. It's also hard because she would be normally speaking a different language, I think, so it's all got to come through energy. She says, oh, she wants you, she's enjoying herself through watching you with the life you're living right this minute with you, like you're happy. So this must be about her spouse, that it was not good. And I feel like she's showing me, I don't think she would have had these, but I feel like she's showing me fortune cookies or something, and she's saying that the stars are shining down on you. And now I feel like, let me ding it real quick. I feel like even though she's here, there's also guides coming in, which usually give me more information. It's not anybody you know. It's just sort of this energy flow that I get into. They want to just say something to you about your work. We suddenly just switched gears. Yes. It's really revving up. It's something that you're doing at work. And you are heading in the next 3 years into a period in your life that is going to be very prosperous. And you're going to be able to kind of, like you've been working really hard, you're going to hit a point where you can kind of sit back and like it's doing the work instead of you doing the work. Would that make any sense to you? Yes? Yes, well, I would take that as a good sign. Yeah. So even though you probably can't figure out mom's aunt and all this, and everybody's getting bombed and all of that, I would say definitely walk home with that one. So, okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. Thank you. Yes, let's see. How am I doing time-wise? When I get going, I can at least get one more in here before I go. Let's see. Take a break. Did you guys come together by any chance? Yes. Oh, because I'm kind of like, am I with you or am I with you? Or I can't quite figure out who I'm with. But that blue shirt's kind of drawing me. So, yeah, maybe. No. Wow. Oh, it's probably somebody you both knew. No, it's behind you, honey. Sorry. Well, I'm going to kind of just start with you because I just kind of keep coming into your blue shirt there. I've got a female coming through for you, and it feels a lot, actually for you, it feels like it's along your mother's side of the family. She's showing me a purse, like, you know, this old kind that would kind of snap, but it's got the handle, and it's kind of pretty big though. You know, usually they're kind of small, but it's kind of pretty big. I can't really see her real well yet. She's coming in. She feels kind of petite to me, and she feels sort of World War II. If I get her young, she's kind of World War II age young, like in her 20s, like that. I would have enjoyed wearing lipstick, red. Her hair when she's younger, I have a feeling she colored it at different times in her life, but it's sort of a kind of a lighter brown, almost like my kind of color hair. And she's showing me a chalkboard, like she's erasing something on a chalkboard, which makes me think of teachers and things like that. But she's erasing something on a chalkboard. I'm trying to figure out, no, I don't. She doesn't really have the mother energy.
Could be.
Could be. Does the chalkboard mean anything? No, not the teaching. It's almost, when I see this chalkboard, it almost makes me think of a teacher or something. But let's see.
My grandma was a teacher.
No, I think I'm definitely back here. No. And when she's not erasing a board, she would have enjoyed jewelry. She would have worn like bracelets. She really likes my watch. But this watch is from a time period where she would have been, because she's probably similar in age to my mother. And this is probably from the 50s or something. She also enjoyed riding in a nice car. Like there was nothing quite as, now I don't know about driving, but she would have definitely enjoyed riding in a nice car, may have even had a nice car, although her house feels kind of smaller to me. She doesn't feel like it just feels smaller. So I'm coming up here. I feel like I need to give you more information. Oh, you're thinking it's for you?
Well, I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm starting to get a little tired right now.
I was thinking when she said stuff.
I think I really have to go to this chalkboard and the idea of chalk. Does the chalk make sense to you back there? Oh, you're the teacher. Yeah, no, it's about.
But who she described sounds like your mom. She was
Does it?
very
Yeah, I feel like
petite.
I'm with
She
you.
was very petite. She had light brownish hair. All her pictures, she has.
Would she have been young in World War II time? Well, yeah, of course. You know, yeah. But I get the feeling then, if as a mother, she's not the kind that's super touchy, huggy like, because she's not just running in to just, you know, like sometimes moms would. Well, let me start with her message and see, because sometimes that takes us further in. She's getting mad at me. Because she's getting mad at me. Of course, I love my son. What are you talking about? Of course, you know, how dare you? She could get mad, and I think that's where I'm picking up you. She feels like she could have been a little jealous of you. Would you have known? Is she? Do you know her at all?
He's my husband. We're just sitting like this.
Oh, okay. So, okay. But you came all together?
We came together.
She's
Okay.
my sister-in-law.
Okay, she's your sister-in-law.
She never met my mother.
Okay, well, she could still be jealous of you. I don't think she feels that way about you, though. So let me see what else she has to say. And let me ding it real quick, because I'm, you know, I keep track of this. Okay, she's pretty opinionated. Yeah. There's something about you she's not real keen about. I'm sorry. like she doesn't really want you around. But you know, sometimes maybe sisters talk, and you know, I don't know. But so I'm just, gosh, she's tough, your mom.
That's okay.
Okay, this is true. Okay, yeah, we've definitely got your mom. So I'm wondering what the erasing was with her. she'd like to erase time. I think is a part of what she'd like to do. She'd like to erase time. She would like to go back in time and do some things differently with you. She goes, oh, and then she's kind of like, well, forget him. I'd like to do some things differently for me. She would like to make some different choices than she made. She would have liked to gotten out more, or maybe traveled some more, or, you know, there's something about her life that just, she didn't make the choices she should have made, that she's feeling on this side. Sometimes that has to do with spouses and things like that. You're agreeing. Okay. All right. So she wants you to live your life to the fullest in a good way. And maybe it's because she's just here tonight. She wants to together. She wants you guys to go do things together, do more stuff, do more stuff. She's showing me like chocolate chip cookies, you know, like the homemade. I don't know that she would have done that. It feels more like she wishes she had been able to do more of this kind of thing. Feels like she has some regrets, but she definitely wants you to know not to listen to me because she really loved you. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have a question for her before I let her go?
Is she happy?
She's working on it.
Okay.
Happiness, she's saying like happiness isn't an easy gig for her. So gig could mean, that's not a word I would usually use. So I'm supposed to think of gig, I think of music when I think of a gig. But it's not, and even in her youth, but okay. She's working on it. She wants you to know she's not, there's a certain male that she's not with. She's not like a husband or something, she's not with. But there's some other family members and friends that she is with. And she's been doing some healing, but she needs to do more. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that's, yeah, but she really loves you. Okay, so don't listen to me. And on that note, I think I will go take a break. All righty, enjoy, have fun. Oh, welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good break. So, I'm still drawn to you. Why am I so drawn to you? Are you sensitive? Are you medium by any chance? No. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to find out what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
kind of,
please do.
now that I'm in trouble with, now that I'm in trouble. Yeah, so let's see. I think I have a gentleman trying to come through. Let's see. Actually, it could be a few people. I'm just drawn to you. No, now there's a woman kind of pushing the man out of the way. So we'll let her come in. Because she looks kind of like you. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we don't need like an old boyfriend or any of that. So let's see who this woman might be. Because I'm also drawn to your hair. And her hair color feels kind of similar to your hair color. She's petite. She's on your mother's, and I'm also on your mother's side where your hair is. She's on your mother's side of the family. But how far up does she go? Meaning up generation-wise is what I'm talking about. She's showing me, well, I'll just give what I get. She's showing me like, you know how sometimes leather jackets have that leather that kind of has strings to the leather? I'm seeing not the jacket necessarily, but the strings of the leather. And then I'm seeing, do you have any Native American in you that you know of? No. Why do I feel like I'm seeing moccasins or something? No. Let's see. Well, she could have owned a pair, gone traveling in Arizona or someplace. So let me bring more in about her. petite, and when I say petite, she's also got a nice figure. How about how she passed? How late did you? As I see her coming in, she's coming in probably like in her 30s, something like that. So her hair is still nice and the color. Actually, though, I'm hearing the word aunt, which takes me off in a little bit of a direction. And I think I'm looking at the game of Monopoly, which means she could have liked games, or she might have been involved in real estate, or and money. I think she liked money, and I think she liked making money. But was she the one making the money, or would her husband have been making the money? She might have also enjoyed like gambling a little with money. She keeps showing me this leather thing and this idea of a purse, but it feels like a clutch kind of a purse. And if you open it up, there's like a lipstick inside and there's money inside. But she's not going to Macy's. She's not taking the money to Macy's. And I think she also would have enjoyed as a hobby, like sewing on a sewing machine. She would have been kind of creative in that kind of a line. And she would have, I think she's a little beyond World War II. I feel more like I see, those rounded hood cars, but it feels more 50s as a young woman. Does any of this make sense so far? I don't feel like I've gotten enough in for you. Let's see, what else can I give you about her? Well, I'm hearing her say she's a guide of yours. So a lot of times guides are people that could be family, because she looks an awful lot like you, but could have passed before you ever had a chance to meet her. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the message, because I could spend all night, and I know we want to, but did your mother have a sister? Mm-hmm. Okay. But somehow it doesn't. Yeah, then that's not, no. And anyway, okay, let me just give you her message, and then she says she's a guide of yours. So we all have guides, whether you see them or hear them or not, okay? And they help us with our lives. And she's coming in because she helps you with decisions in your life. She helps you, and she tries to show you little like synchronicities or little things so that you will take a look and go, oh, okay, I'll go down this path, or I'll do this. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of looking for signs in your life and looking, no. Okay. Well, that's what she does. She tries to do that. Okay, don't nod. So, okay. Yeah, no nodding. She's telling me you have a good life, and that's probably part of the reason I'm attracted to you. You have a very good energy about you. And that's why I'm asking if you're sensitive or a healer or something, because you just have this sort of yummy energy all around you. And she's continuing to show me this leather. I think it may have to do with her and maybe some past life. Or there's something about Native American in all of this. And even though we're having trouble today, I think if you were to see another medium or get another reading and get a guide in, I think there's something Native American about her. But she also had a life where she would have been young in the 50s and dark hair. And of course, dark hair, Native American always has dark hair. She wants you to... She says that you're having trouble when you put your head on your pillow and going to sleep. There's something sleep issues for you. And she says there are thoughts that are on your mind. And she says you don't have to worry about anything. Everything's going to be all right. And it feels like, as she's talking about money, maybe some of the money has to do with you and your life. And that you don't have to, when the time comes, you'll have the money that you need for... and it may even feel like not just for being old, but it feels like for an endeavor or something that you may want to start, like work-wise or something, that the money is going to be there for some, like an investment or something. Anything else she wants to say? Do you have a question for her, even though I know you aren't recognizing her? No questions? Well, you know what? No, I'm just going to let that one go. Okay? Because I could spend some time here. Let me coming back here. Let's see. I'm going to come to the woman in the maroon shirt. May I come to you? Okay, let's see who I've got for you. Oh, let me ring the bell too. I don't actually have them in yet. I'm drawn to you, but I don't actually. I feel like a male is trying to come through for you, even though I know you were talking about a teacher before. But a male is trying to come through for you on your father's side of the family. He feels tall to me, like, 5'10" to 11, somewhere in there. That's pretty tall. And his body, he's not real overweight, but he's not real thin. So he's got some layer of meat, and he's saying to keep him warm. So like wherever he lived, it feels like it could get cold wherever he was. So he's kind of joking with me, which tells me a little bit about his personality. This is somebody who would have enjoyed smiling, would have enjoyed, I think he would have enjoyed some cards himself, playing some cards. Even like, dice, how they put them in a cup and shake the, not Yahtzee, but for some other, probably gambling type thing. I think he would have enjoyed a cocktail, but I don't feel like he goes too overboard with it. I don't feel like that's really happening for him. More like if it's a social situation, or if he was hanging out with other men that were, doing something, that's something he would do. I feel like he was very good with numbers. Like, I almost feel like I see a ledger or lined paper where he could add up numbers. Or, although I think he did more work with his hands. I don't think his work was really with numbers, but even when you work with your hands, like if you're measuring something or something, you'd have to use numbers. What else can I tell you? I'm hearing the word Kansas. A lot of times think with a K then. If it's not Kansas, think with a K. And I don't feel like he's a father. He feels one-off, like an uncle, that type of a thing. And would have liked the outdoors as well. Would have, and lived somewhere, where you'd find deer and some things like that. Might have enjoyed some hunting. Does any of this make sense to you? Possibly?
Did you say it was on my father's side? What were you saying?
I was thinking, sometimes I get the sides mixed up, but I'm thinking it's on your father's side. I'm drawn to the male side, so it could be an uncle on your mother's side, but it's a male in your family. Kind of tall, kind of like the outdoors. He's not an engineer with the numbers. He's not that kind of a numbers kind of a person. Okay, well, let me go ahead.
Know anybody on my dad's
Oh, you don't
side.
know?
Brothers, but I've
Never met them. Well, you know what? They can still come in.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and give you his message, because Spirit always sends somebody in for a reason. There's always a reason. So let me see what he wants to say to you. He's glad you're here tonight. He's sorry he's not who you really want to talk to tonight. So apparently you're really here for somebody else that feels like a female, actually. But are you here more for a female that crossed over?
Well,
There's several people.
there's several
Okay,
people.
okay.
I know that would-
Okay, well, I better stick with him in the essence of time. He wants to applaud you. He's coming in to give you a big hurrah. Again, we're talking about decisions in life. He's saying that currently you make better decisions than you did like in your 20s. Well, I think we all do, don't we? I hope we all do. But he's saying you make better decisions now than you did in your 20s. And it feels kind of like it has to do with men or with relationships in that kind of a sense. He's also coming in because there's a commonality between the two of you, even though you don't know who he is, or didn't know people on your dad's side. There's something about the outdoors and love of nature, and he says you need to get out more. You get out, but he says, no, you need to get out more. People walk around the block and they take a good walk, but you really need to be more like, especially when it starts snowing, that it would be good for you to be out in the smelling the air. I don't think I'd want to hike in the snow, but out to do that. Does that fit for you? The message part of it?
Yeah, probably so.
Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Again, he's really, he's saying who you really wanted. It feels like there is one particular person you really wanted that isn't currently available right now. Like they're still getting settled in. Something about that. There's something they're still working on over there. So, do you have a question for him, even though you don't,
No, I know it's probably my dad. Is it my dad's brother? I don't know if it's my dad's
He
brother.
says he's your dad's brother.
Is he okay then? Or I don't know which
Oh,
one.
yeah.
My dad had 3 brothers, so I'm not sure which.
He says I'm the older one. Well, if you had 3, it could be, So you may have to ask.
Okay.
You may have to ask someone to get a little more information. But outdoors, I think he would have hunted at a minimum ducks. But it feels like I see deers and things like that. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave that one with you. And I'm going to come. Oh, I'm going to ding first, and then I'm going to come next to you. Let's see. I have a gentleman coming through for you. Actually, I think I've seen this gentleman before, but we're going to go ahead and let him come in. So he's kind of coming in more like in his 50s, something like that, and he seems like his build looks pretty good. He doesn't seem overweight. He seems kind of just average. And at the time he has hair. He likes to wear a hat of some sort on his once in a while. It feels like like a ball cap or something. And he's showing me a truck, and he's showing me, on the back of a truck, where the wheels are, they have those mud flaps or whatever. He's kind of showing me the mud flaps. And there's, how they have the little women on the mud flaps. The little women are on the mud flaps. And I think this is your uncle. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to show me a lot of things. Yeah, he wants me to sit in the front of the truck and feel the truck when it's moving. Okay? In kind of an inappropriate kind of way. And in the shadows, in the background, there's a woman, okay? And she's coming in, but it's like they're separate. She's coming in, and she's in a house, and she's sweet and kind, and she looks more kind of like you, and her hair, and yeah, now I want to cry. Because she doesn't want you to feel badly for her. She thinks you feel badly for her. And she, I feel like, is the wife. I think she's your aunt. I've never had her in before, but she feels like and there's something about her that makes me feel, kind of hearing the words Betty Crocker or something, that she's a good woman, would have kept her house neat, would have done everything. I did everything the way I was supposed to do everything. I did things by the book, so to speak. And there's something for her about the rules of relationship, kind of like I made my deed with the devil or something. I made my the decision, but because of my upbringing, she said something about her upbringing. You stay in the decision, that you made, and she says, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. No, I wasn't in love with him. I was never really in love with him. It almost feels like there was a need when they got married. I don't know if she would have been pregnant or yes? Okay, that's okay. That there was a need. And there's something about this reading, because usually I don't get, in a public venue like this, I don't get this kind of information. Because it feels like he has sort of an addiction going on. And I feel like, and nobody has to say anything unless you feel like, but it feels like this relationship is to tell someone else in the room that has a similar relationship currently, you know, kind of to listen up. So, okay? So, so what she wants to say, because it's really about her turn. He's come in, and I think guides or something are kind of taking him aside and letting you spend more time with her. She says, other things made me happy, you know, and he wasn't around all the time, it sounds like. Other things made me happy. I had friends, like you have friends. And, you know, she's talking about a particular friend of yours, and to not like judge or not, to have compassion for a friend that is in some sort of a similar situation. It's not the same, but it feels unhappy marriage. To be supportive of your friend. And she says, she wants you to know where she is right now. She is very happy. And she says, you know, she kind of earned some brownie points through this, through this experience in my life. And she really wants to come in with love for you because she doesn't feel like she's had an opportunity to do this. And she just really wants to come in with love for you. Do you have a question for her before I let her go? She says she sees him often. He's a good boy. He's a good, I guess, yeah. He's a good boy. And she says, we're all good. We're all good in spirit. You know, that means even your uncle, who's hopefully working. So, no, I mean, yeah. And he may have been showing that to help demonstrate what the relationship was like. She wasn't the type of person to leave. Okay? Okay. So she brings you much love, and she's well, and she's happy. And they're not hanging out. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave that one with you, and I'm going to ding. And then, let's see. Oh, I'm being drawn back over here. But not to you, honey, in the way back. Actually, I think I'm drawn to the gentleman with the beard. May I come to you? Sure. May I come to you? Okay.
He's the skeptic.
Oh, he's just, wow, I'm picking all the skeptics. Oh, oh dear. Okay. Well, I have a gentleman coming through for you, and he feels like he's on your father's side of the family. Well, we can go way back. So yeah, just father's side of the family. This gentleman, as he comes through, he feels kind of, I don't know if stern's really the right word I want to use, but kind of serious. He is a taller gentleman, might have been 6 feet, you know, kind of hovering around there in his good years. As a matter of fact, trying to see if he lived till later in life. I feel like I can't get him more than maybe his mid-50s or late 50s, this gentleman I'm getting through. And I think he would have passed from something in his heart attack. She's smiling. You know who it is.
I don't.
Yeah, let me see how he's dressed and because he hasn't shown me. I also feel like he has books behind him. Like this is somebody who would have enjoyed reading some books. Doesn't mean he's a lawyer, but he likes books. He comes through in a suit with a tie, and actually I'm hearing more like an uncle than a grandfather. I don't think he goes back far enough to be a grandfather. And you would think he was a grandfather, but I don't think he is. The suit that he's wearing, he could have been young. could have been young, like in the 30s or the 40s, so which would put him, you know, he's been gone a while. And he enjoyed writing as well. Would have enjoyed writing. More, he says, as a young man, because in school he would have enjoyed like creative writing. But he's definitely a serious gentleman. Do you know if you're uncle, if it fits for anybody that's an uncle, it would have passed from a heart?
They're all farm guys, so.
Oh yeah, no, this guy's in a suit. No. What about if we flip it to your mom's side? Well, let me start with the message. Everybody's a farm person. Okay, well let me go ahead and start with the message and see what he has to say. Oh, we thought of somebody? Okay, we might have somebody. Is it an uncle?
Yeah.
Okay, he got off the farm.
Sorry.
He got,
Sticking on the wrong side.
he got off the farm. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. He's kind of coming in applauding you. A man of my heart, or a man of my, you're like him. You know, there's ways in which he sees you're smart. Like, he was smart. And he almost kind of wants to take credit somehow for you being smart. I don't know. So that tells me something about his personality and his ego, maybe a little, that he liked attention, and he would have liked, and that was part of his intelligence, was that was sort of like his getaway, or his, you know, when things aren't great, some people go to reading, some people drink, some people, you know, but some people, they get smarter. Anyway, so let's see, what does he want to say to you? He just wants to say you've made the right steps in life, that you're doing good. You may not always feel that way yourself, but from where he's standing, from where he is, you've made really good steps for yourself, and he wants you to be proud of yourself and let go of any steps, any thoughts of, oh, I should have done this better, or I didn't, you know, oh, why didn't I do this, or God, why didn't I take that job, or why did I pass up that promotion, or so along those lines. He says you're doing it all just fine. He wants you to relax more. He says he wants you to, you don't relax enough. And he wants you to, is that true?
Probably.
Kind of, yeah. You've got a good work ethic, but you need to just relax a little more. And he wants you to go back. I feel like he wants you to travel someplace to where your roots were. I feel kind of drawn to like England, Ireland, or Scotland, you know, that kind of area. I don't know if you've got some of that in you, but it feels like he wants you to kind of head over there, and he wants you to. He says it'll give you a better understanding of the history of the family and of you and of where you come from. You're more than you come from more than you maybe think you come from. That there's more for you to understand. Do you have a question for this uncle?
I don't have a question for him now.
No. Okay. Well, then I'm going to leave that one with you. No more skeptics. No. Just joking. Let me ding. It's okay. I'm going to come back to this end of the room over here. Actually, I know this woman, Teresa. And let's see, who do I have coming through for you? Because I'm drawn to you. It's like they're on either sides of your shoulder. I have a gentleman coming through on your male side of the family, and I have a female coming through. Well, actually, there's like 2 or 3 females that would like to come through on this side of the family. Let me go with the gentleman first. He's coming through very handsome, kind of in a suit, tie. I think we've had this gentleman before. I think he's your husband. Let's see. What is he coming in to say? He just wanted to say hi, but there's somebody else he really wants me to say, have you say hello to. He says she knows I love her. She knows I love her. And at night, have you been feeling like something's getting in your hair? Because I feel like he's playing with your hair at different times. Okay, well, keep an eye out. If you feel like I think he's pestering you, and you're not aware of it. So who is he trying to bring into me? He's trying to bring in a female, and she looks kind of thin to me. She looks kind of thin, and I think something about her skin looks like either she smoked or she might have drank a bit, or she's something along those lines. She just looks like she's maybe a little older than she should be for her age. And I think she also was having some issues with her teeth, maybe more than she should have. And money was difficult for her. She didn't have a whole lot of, or any money. And I feel her like living in an apartment or living in something small. This is not somebody I've had for you before. I don't think. No, I'm drawn to your mother's side, and she feels, like the apartment feels kind of around this time. Would this be your mother by any chance? You did, yeah, your mother passed away not too long ago, right? Wow, I never met your mother. Now I'm meeting her. Wow, this tells me a lot. Wow. And she's coming through feeling a little like she wanted more attention. She wanted me. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you like anything you would have done would never have been enough for her. Wow. Now I understand your childhood. So let's see. What does she want to say to you? She wants you to be nicer to your sister. I'm sure you're nice to your sister, but she wants you to be nicer to your sister. There's something like she's more aligned with your sister than she is with you. And I think your sister is more like her. She's not like you at all. But she's more, the sister and your mother were like, could have been sisters themselves. But I think she probably is trying to assign you to looking over your sister now. Which you don't have to do. I mean, it's your life. Oh! I'm not sure about this. Oh, it's not a permanent thing. No, tell me no.
I hope not.
No, we're going to have to work on boundaries here. No. This is the kind of thing the mother would, get you to do. His mother, but I don't think this is in your best interest. Do you have a question for your mom? No, I can't think of anything. I think she left a lot of, there's a lot of lack in that relationship for you. And I think you got that love somewhere else, maybe a father figure, because it's just not, she didn't have it to give. And on that note, I have someone who works with me often when I do healings and all kinds of, and me personally, Jesus is coming in, and he he's dressed in white. Well, he can look different to different people. He's in white, and he's coming to you, and he's trying to put his arms around you. And he said, "I held you when others couldn't or didn't, and I always will. And I want you to know that I'm here for you as a father, as whatever you need me to be." Does that make sense? So he's coming through. He's kind of like even coming behind you to give you a healing right now. Okay? I think we're going to leave Mom. Yeah. Okay. Here, let's give you a Kleenex. Can somebody pass that back? Okay. Whew, wow. I might know her, but I never got Mom in. Wow, never met Mom. You have to. Huh? Draw me to the lady in pink, huh? Well, let's see. What can I do here? I'm drawn to the female side of your family, or to a woman's coming in. She also looks kind of similar to you. This feels a more like grandmotherly feel than a motherly feel to me. And she would have gotten pretty old before she passed away. And she would have had trouble with her feet as she aged. There's like arthritis or some things going on in her feet and her legs. She also would have gotten kind of bent over as she got older. Let's see, what else can I tell you about her? Feels like she likes a little game with like pieces of wood. I'm not quite clear what the game is, but it has something to do with pieces of wood. She cooked, but it wasn't like her favorite thing. You know, you cook because you have to cook. And she's not a real warm, loving person, but it feels kind of more cultural than that's the way than her natural way of being. It's just kind of more like that's how she is. I think you would have met her. I see you as a baby meeting her, but I don't feel like you knew her well. I think she also would have been good with making clothes or stitching things. Does any of this make sense? You're looking kind of like it doesn't. So let me go ahead and give you her message. She's saying, I'm from long ago and far away. I did know you as a baby. This may be more like a great aunt. And she's coming in, she's really having trouble, or showing herself having trouble walking. They can come in any age that they want, so there's a reason she's choosing to come in this age, and there's definitely a biological connection here, and she's really wanting you to watch your feet, I think you're too young to have any issues with your feet at this point, but there's something that feels like she's trying to let you know about your physical body, about genetics that's running in your family, having to do with, it's probably arthritis, is what I'm thinking it is. And that for you to make sure you eat healthy foods, more greens. What else can I have her say? Do you have a question for her? And they're not really recognizing her?
I didn't know who she was.
Okay. Do you know who your grandmother was? Do you know of your family on that side?
Yes,
Yeah? Okay. Did you ever know about like a great aunt or
I have,
a woman that got older? You would have met as a baby, got older, trouble with her feet. You might have to think on it.
It wouldn't have to be me by any chance.
No, that's too far away, I think. Yeah.
no.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just finish up the message. Yeah, she wants you to watch. She's all about your body. She's all about your physical, taking care of yourself. Anything else she wants to say to you? And that's mainly why she's coming in. She's coming in about genetics. She's coming in about your body and about really making sure you take care of yourself. So that might be something you can ask somebody about, things that have run in the family. Really pay attention to stuff with the, because maybe it's not arthritis, but it's something with the feet and the legs. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to leave that one with you. Okay. Let's see. Whew. Where's Ron to? Oh, I'm going to come way over to this corner over here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hi. Hi. I have a gentleman coming through for you. He feels sort of similar to you. He feels Yeah, similar to you. He's probably maybe 5'8", 5'9". His complexion is kind of pale, kind of, like yours is kind of a light complexion. And as I see him, he's probably in his 60s, maybe. And his, kind of when our skin starts, not being as strong as it once was. So, and I think he passed. It was more than the heart. It feels like there's other issues he has going on. It feels like it has to do with blood and things that are going on in his body. He's having issues. But as a younger man, he really would have liked music. There's something about records on record players and things like that. He, I'm just trying to figure, he almost seems like a brother, but.
Could be a brother.
Could be a brother. Do you know if the brother passed from these kind of things, had issues with the blood?
He had a lot of issues.
A lot of, yeah.
Cancer was the final one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although he's not showing me in that state where, you've lost a lot of weight. His personality is a very loving person. And he's kind of a sweetheart, I would say, in the brother I'm seeing, the gentleman I'm seeing. Let me see, his message to you. Yeah, it's a brother. He's coming in with love. This is somebody that feels like you got along with. I know some siblings we don't get along with, but this guy really, he feels like, and I feel like he might have even been a little older than you, because there's some aspect, well, sometimes younger ones do too, but there's a way in which I feel like he felt protective of you or kind of watched over you. Or
Just a little older.
yeah, and did he chase any boys away when you were young? It feels like he's like, stay away from my sister. No, you're not good enough. Yeah, well, he might have, and you didn't know about it. His message to you tonight is just so much about how much he continues to love you on the other side. He's not soon. He's looking forward to seeing you again and hanging out. And there's something that you do when you're home. Feels like you're alone and you're, I think you're reading something, and he's trying to come in at the same time when you're reading. Like, that's a time he spends time with you, is when you're reading something.
How odd.
Huh?
I do read a lot.
Yeah, well,
But he
because
was
you
not
get
a reader.
quiet.
Oh.
No, but it's maybe easier. Like, you get kind of in an altered state. You're relaxed. You're reading,
Yeah.
and it's quiet. He kind of likes to come in. He likes to come in then. Do you have a question for him?
Well, is he with other family members, or?
I almost feel like he's getting trampled by family members. Like, there's a lot of family members over there.
Are.
Yeah. And he does, but he kind of likes to be alone. Sometimes so there's times, and there's things that he's doing, hobbies. It feels like something he does with his hands, works with his hands, or maybe even with wood. Like, he's doing some things he didn't have time to do here, or he didn't get the chance to really do as much as he wanted to. So, okay?
Okay.
Okay. The main thing is, yeah, he's well, and it's just the love. I mean, a lot of times, really, siblings are just a nightmare. and he really loved you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. Let's see, how am I doing on time here? Kind of running over. Oh, let me ding, too. So usually what I like to do kind of at the end is just channel a message for everybody. And we'll just see who comes in, because it's usually I try to get like an ascended master, a collective consciousness. I don't know who it's going to be, but since we already had somebody, I have a feeling it might be him. So let's see what I have. Yeah, I feel like Jesus is coming in, and he's actually putting a hand on my back because he's trying to help me battery me, because I'm kind of going, coming down at the end of this. He's coming in, I generally think of him as more fatherly, but he's coming in saying, he wants to say he's coming in with more of a brotherly energy. And he wants you to actually more think of him as a friend. You don't have to think of him as, or no, let me use his words. I don't want you to think of me as above you. I want you to think of me as in you and with you, and that my thoughts are your thoughts. And I got thrown off because somebody laughed out there. You are welcome to be around me anytime that you want. And if you choose not to be around me, that's okay. In other words, I like to draw those around me that wish to be with me. And I'm sad because there are many that have been forced to be around me. And then because they were forced, they didn't want to be around me. And you can connect with me anytime that you want to. You can just close your eyes and think of me, and I will be there. I have the ability to be many places. Actually, he's saying anywhere, at any time. And there are some of you in this audience that I do have a close kinship with. And I want you to know that I'm happy that you came here tonight, because you're not supposed to be here. And he's really emphasizing love. I love all of you with all of my heart. All of you. So on that note, I'm going to bring that portion and the reading portion of our evening to a close. Wow, you never come in like that for everybody before, so that's kind of nice. You must have some people who like them in here. So I want to thank everybody for coming this evening. I'm going to go ahead and I want to thank Spirit for all the wonderful messages you brought through. And for those of you who are like, well, I'm not too clear who it was, sometimes think about it a few days and do a little research, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I know who it was. And then contact me and let me know. So, thank you so much for coming. And, all right. Okay. Blessings, everyone.